Madeeh, lay some smackdown. Beat me, okay? We have an hour.
I mean, if you're down with that, I will, but I don't want to get in. I mean, as long as you're consenting,
don't worry,
it's fine, right?
No, you're not.
I'm not Kevin Spaceying this.
All right.
Am I allowed to make that joke here?
It's not live. Oh, it's live. It's live.
Oh.
And welcome to another scintillating episode of Movie Battleground. I am Jeremy Hastings, but you know me as JTH, the guy that sucks at movie trivia and has made a gift for absolutely everything. I would like to welcome you to a very special, at the time that this video comes up, very special Valentine's Day edition of Movie Battleground. And we're going to do exactly everything that you would expect on Valentine's Day. We're going to argue about movies and shoot each other's opinions down, because that's exactly what Valentine's Day is all about, right, kids? So we are continuing into the first round of the Movie Battleground tournament. Statistically, this is the 8th and 9th ranked players, so on paper, this is going to be the most evenly matched of contests, and with the two players that we have, I expect nothing less. I expect this to come right down to the wire. Both players come in at 1-1, although their paths to these 1-1 records came a little bit differently. But without further ado, let's go ahead and meet the players. First off, coming in with, as I said, a record of 1-1, he is the 8th ranked player. He is the Madman, Madeeh Rehman. Madeeh, you're coming off a victory over Chris Clark, as it seems everybody has nowadays. Poor Chris. So you are coming off a victory, whereas your opponent is coming off a pretty heartbreaking loss. Does that give you any added confidence coming into this, or does it really not play any effect?
It doesn't really change anything. I'm more concerned with the fact that I forgot it was Valentine's Day this week. Son of a bitch. All right, I'm going to get in trouble. Besides the point. No, it doesn't change anything. I'm still going to whoop Manning's ass. I mean, I love Manning. He's a cool guy. A lot of fun to, like, talk to and everything like that. But I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to kick your ass tonight. It's weird that I'm on the Valentine's Day episode with you, though. Like, there's another person I feel like is more suited to be in this match against you on this particular day. I won't go into that.
Jeez. I wonder who that could be. Wow. I have no idea.
Yeah, what the hell was there? Never mind.
Well, the Madman has said his piece, and now it's time to hear from his adversary. Also coming in with a record of 1-1. He comes in with a victory over the notorious Matt Beer. But as I said, it seems like everybody's been beating up on poor Matt too. And his last encounter had victory snatched away from him at the very, very end against the Mean Queen Jen Kemp. It is, of course, the Maelstrom Manning Franks. Manning, knowing that happened, if we have a similar situation of deja vu, and you have a couple opportunities to put Madeeh away, what's going to happen? Is those butterflies going to start flying in the stomach?
He's going to shit the bed.
Listen, at this point, well, let's hope not. We want a good, entertaining game, everybody. Let's hope that it's not going to come down to that again, because, oh, wow, that was a nail-biter to the very end, to the point where I was getting a little antsy. She was getting a little antsy. But the end, she won barely. If you look back at that match, it was going back and forth. And I hope this one is just as entertaining back and forth. And you know what? Madeeh might win. You don't know. I'm just coming in wanting to have a good time, super relaxed, and just going to come in here with my head held high, and we'll see what happens. And I also forgot this comes out on Valentine's Day, so I'm surprised we don't have a very romantic question. I'm very disappointed. No best rom-com, tisk tisk.
Oh, well.
Fail of that 100%.
So, with that being said, obviously both our players have been here before. They know the rules. 4 round questions will open up. It's going to be the first to 4 points. A little bit different in the tournament. Each of you will have the opportunity to have a round extension, which will allow you to increase a debate from 5 minutes to 6 minutes. However, you must inform me that you wish to do that before the answers are given. If it is not determined after the first 4 questions are asked, we will go to speed round questions until we have a winner. I'm pretty sure both our players know the rules. So with that being said, Madeeh, are you ready?
Yeah, bro, I'm ready.
Manny, are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
I'll take that as a yes. So let's get started.
That's a yes.
So let's get into the first question. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about movies and sequels that have been made from things that we've all loved over the years. Obviously, the main example that comes to mind is Blade Runner 2049, which was a great movie, unfortunately, for the few amount of people that actually got to see it. So our first question is we want both of you guys to pitch a modern-day sequel to a movie that was released at least 20 years ago. So for the viewers out there, for clarification, this is any movie that has come out from 1997 or before that has had no form of sequel, remake, or reboot of any kind. Any of those movies would be accepted. And you have to pitch a modern day sequel. So, guys, you now have the unthinkable task. You now have to pitch a movie that we all know and loved and pitch a sequel. And by the end of that pitch, have us go, no, my childhood. So, best of luck, guys. Madeeh, you are the higher ranked player, so we're going to let you have the floor first. What is your sequel, modern day sequel, of a movie that's at least 20 years old?
I feel like both of us are going to get a lot of hate in this round just for our answers, but I picked The Goonies. Richard Donner's The Goonies came out in 1985. Absolutely brilliant movie that really, I think, was probably my coming of age movie. Like, I know a lot of people have their own movies that they like really think of as like them coming from childhood to teenagehood or whatever. Goonies was this for me, man. Like, having a group of rambunctious kids just trying to save their home. That was for me. The sequel to Goonies would be the one I would want to see.
All right, fair enough. Manny, you now have the opportunity. You now get to say what your sequel would be.
My answer that I will have is one. Let's picture this: 1986. John Carpenter has 1981 Escape from New York with Kurt Russell. A very, very 80s movie. And if you cut right to 1986, he comes out with Big Trouble in Little China. Now, this movie you would think would be ridiculous. And you know what? You would be right. This movie is an over-the-top homage to 80s culture and this entire idealized action hero with Jack Burton and his Pork Chop Express. And this movie I picked in particular because I feel like this would be, I'll go into later a bit more of the details about what we can expect in the sequel. But this movie I feel would be a fantastic homage, especially with 80s coming back, 90s. People are really into this culture of wanting to go back to that time period. And I feel like this would be an excellent movie to have a sequel to all these years later.
All right, fair enough. You guys both spared the pitch part. I guess you're going to kind of bring that up in the debate. So let's not waste any more time. Your 5 minutes will start whenever somebody starts off. Madeeh, if you want to, you can kick it off.
Oh, I'll take it. First thing, Big Trouble in Little China, I feel like is a movie that's only gonna work in that setting. It is, as you said, like really, really over the top. And I know, Mike, you're not gonna appreciate this, but man, I did not enjoy that movie at all. Like, that movie was so, oh my god. Okay, my problems with that movie aside, I don't know if I'd even want to see a sequel or if people are interested in seeing a sequel. I love Kurt Russell. Lord knows I love Kurt Russell, but I don't think anyone's really going out to see him anymore. I love Bone Tomahawk. I thought he was okay in Guardians, which is what most people probably would have been seeing him in the last decade. But other than that, man, I don't really think that Kurt Russell is bringing anything new to the table in anything that he's doing. Goonies, on the other hand, I think Sean Astin in the last little few years has done really well for his career. In Lord of the Rings,
yeah, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, he was. I enjoyed him in Stranger Things.
That one thing is great.
Really enjoyed
oh
him
no, he was
Jordan
great. I'm saying that's really all he's had. You want to go with Woodlawn as well too? That small movie that came out.
I like Woodlawn. All right, the other one, the one that I'm more excited about is Josh Brolin. I think Josh Brolin took a little bit of time off, I guess, from acting. I don't know what he was doing. But in the last like 10 years, he has done really well. Like in W, he was amazing. No Country for Old Men is one of my favorite films of all time. And the amount of stuff that he's done, maybe it hasn't hit as much, but he's been putting himself out there and he's done really well in his performances. And now he's coming out in both Deadpool and in Avengers because he needs the money, obviously. But like those movies are just going to push him over the edge. And I think that's going to give him that more star power that will bring more people coming to see Goonies. And we've been waiting for a Goonies sequel for 30 years. Let's just get the damn thing done, all right?
Okay, well, fair enough. The point of your idea of Goonies being something for 30 years. Some people have pure sequel, introduce it to a brand new audience, freshen up a bit. But for this one, for Big Trouble in Little China in particular, what you would have, let's get some actors there who need their big shot. Steven Yeun. We need Jack Burton to come back because, you know, the Lords of Death, as they are called in there, are coming back with they're resurrecting the four elements, as you know. If you've seen Big Trouble in China, you know, over the top, returning to direct in this over the top production that just has this big homage to the 80s. You remember how big and how popular I can't even remember what it was now. What is that? Kung Fury. That's it.
Really
Kung
well.
Fury. No, thank you. Kung Fury. I would love to see translated again. Think of how amazing the visuals from the 80s would translate into now. Remember how over the top something like James Gunn was? If you have something written by Lawrence Kasdan, someone who was from that time period, with some witty dialogue, and we know he can still write great dialogue. Example being The Force Awakens. Right dialogue. Right dialogue, good sir. Right. Get your mind out of the gutter, sir. But no. Yeah, no, but having him write some amazing dialogue that translates from the 80s into now, Lawrence Kasdan has proved he can do that. And if you bring him on with Kurt Russell as Jack Burton, and you have Steven Yeun leading a tour de force where they fight the martial arts. Remember the biggest martial arts film that was a quote-unquote reboot / sequel-ish? Karate Kid. There is some love for there. It just has to have a property that has been established. And while it is a big cult classic, it's a huge cult classic. It's Big Trouble in Little China. Having this for a brand new audience and a lower budget mid-tier film would be fantastic to watch.
I don't know if I want to see some dude explode out of anger again, man. Like that shit was enough.
That was so much fun. Do you know how ridiculous that is?
I think I had an aneurysm watching that goddamn scene. But listen, I think the one thing that we're missing here, I don't think that anyone's going to be able to, even though, yes, you're right, Big Trouble in Little China has this cult following, I don't think anyone's going to be able to match that on a modern day level. Right now, I don't even know who directed Big Trouble in Little China. What the hell is the guy's name?
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter. Thank you. I was about to say Wes Craven, but it's the other guy. I don't even know if John Carpenter is directing anymore. I know he's. Yeah, like.
He hasn't. The last movie he did was The Ward, but this would be a fantastic turn
10 years
for him
ago
to
now?
come back.
I don't think he's gonna do it. I think he's
ago,
just he's making like soundtracks to movies that never come out in his spare time now.
That's also true. But then bring in someone like James Gunn, who has a significant style that could be translated into the 80s. You watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 or Volume 2, that has a very significant style, and translate that in a way that could be seen. I feel like Big Trouble in Little China would be a fantastic way to see something like James Gunn.
Come on, pick which John Carpenter
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Which John Carpenter, Kurt Russell movie do you want to see? No,
it's
honestly...
Escape from... Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
All right, fair enough.
We're going to give you a little bit more time to make a closing argument. Again, want to make sure you pitch why your sequel would be more entertaining than the other person. Did you forget about the pitching part, Madeeh?
I did. I'm forgetful today. My girl's gonna be mad about Valentine's Day, and now I'm forgetting about this stuff. It's gonna be an awful week for me.
Well,
but I'm
you
gonna
got a minute to pitch it. Good luck.
Go ahead. I pitched it with Steven Yeun and Kurt Russell. Beat me that. Fighting the Lords of Death. Go on.
All of the Goonies are coming back for a reunion 30 years later after they have seen One-Eyed Willie's ship set sail. What has happened now is that the ship has now been found lost, or was lost for a long time and has been found off the coast of where they were living. They come back and they try and figure out a way for them to get that treasure back to where it's supposed to be. But I'm making this up on the spot, bear with me. But there's another group that's trying to come in, steal the treasure for themselves, and set off a whole other mess of stuff that One-Eyed Willie had already planned for. So booby traps undersea, which they're going to have to deal with as well. And Sloth comes back, and he's a badass once again. This time he's sporting a Batman shirt. And Steven Spielberg directing.
Okay, yeah. Bring in the Steven.
Well, he wrote the original. He helped write the original.
Yeah,
so he's
that is true.
It.
Yeah, big hit or miss Spielberg as he's been doing nowadays recently. But however, what I will say out of this, yeah, hey, well, you know what? Why would we want to see a bunch of men doing this? It defeats the purpose of what the coming of age story is. It's basically a middle-aged coming of middle-age stories, I would say. And really just making it for a specific audience for those who saw the Goonies. It's not going to translate well for the kids, which it was once for. Big Trouble in Little China is now not only a sequel, but is also opening it up for a brand new audience. That is what the goal of a sequel this many years later would do. It's not something just for the audience. It's not something just for the audience who saw that one. It's for a brand new generation. And that's what my movie does, adding fresh talent. I rest my peace.
All right, that was a fine speech by both players, although one did forget they were supposed to be pitching an idea. But
I'm sorry. All right, it's been a long day.
It's been a long day for me too.
Trying to figure out reservations while I'm doing this too. Jesus.
So, based on the arguments, I mean, on both sides, I mean, I think both of these movies and sequels would be actually really good. It was kind of a case of it was kind of the safe pick in the Goonies versus a pick that I actually was not expecting when it came to Big Trouble in Little China. So indeed, it was kind of a matter of hearing all the points I've kind of heard before when it comes to a Goonies sequel, and you did kind of run off all the good points when it came to Kurt Russell and all that. But I mean, you did do a good job of hitting on the fact that Kurt Russell, you know, is he really that popular anymore, which might hurt the opportunity of a Big Trouble in Little China. But at the same time, while the question was, you know, pitch a modern day sequel, you only really able to get a little bit in there. And yeah, Manning was able to kind of combat that with the minute that he had. So unfortunately, the idea of pitching the modern day sequel kind of hurt you. I mean, the fact that you kind of forgot it. So almost by default, I'll have to give the first point there to Manning. So, I mean, I still would love to see both of these ideas, but
I would.
So, yeah, with that, Manning takes the early
I don't know if I'm
lead.
watching Small Trouble in Big China or whatever the fuck you're gonna call this movie.
Small Trouble in Big China. That's great. That's the title of the sequel. Small.
I get the rights to it. All right, simple as that. I'll make the money on the side. I don't mind.
There you go. Well,
So,
deal.
Madeeh, in typical Madman, is acting like a madman, and I guess giving his opponent, you know, a 1 point head start. Let's see if he can
don't worry, I'll
rebound with
make it up.
question number 2. So, yeah, last Sunday there was a little thing that happened called the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of that, but usually when it comes to Super Bowl Sunday, it comes with commercials, and also with commercials comes trailers. So we wanted to ask both of you guys, what was the best trailer that dropped during Super Bowl Sunday? Manning, you went second in the opening argument, so you will get to kick off this one. What was the best trailer of Super Bowl Sunday?
Cut back to last Sunday when we were all, well, if you're watching this the Sunday prior, but you get what I mean. Cut back to that time and you're watching the Super Bowl. You're seeing two teams go at it. Very engaging point system. I don't watch it. I don't know. What do they do? Touchdowns. That's it. That's it. They do the touchdowns. And then all of us watch a trailer that comes out of nowhere. It shows some clips from Cloverfield, the original one. And you think to yourself, well, yeah, this came out. Why are they showing the same thing again? And building, suspense starts to build. They have some new footage. They show a voiceover in the background from Gugu Mbatha, who plays the main character in what this movie called The Cloverfield. It's coming tonight on Netflix right after the big game, as they call it. They can't call it the Super Bowl. After the big game, it will be arriving. And the internet on film Twitter erupted. This is beautiful marketing. Quality of the film aside, what this did and what the trailer did to build up something that came out of nowhere, fantastic. And something that I have not seen before and could set precedents for the future.
All right. Cloverfield Paradox, that was definitely not a pick that I was expecting when it was made. So, Madeeh, what will you have to counter that for the best trailer of Super Bowl Sunday?
All right. As someone who actually watched the game, and I feel like I might be the only one.
I flipped it.
Okay.
I flipped through it.
As someone who watched the game in a packed
Eagles
bar.
and Patriots.
Yeah. Oh, good job. Congratulations. You know that much.
Thank you.
As someone who watched the game in a packed bar with random people of all different like backgrounds and everything that they have going on, I was witness to the reactions firsthand of what people were seeing. Now, granted, many of us were drunk, but doesn't matter because when you're drunk, your true self comes out. There was a few moments that the crowd went absolutely crazy. Obviously, there was plays during the game that made people go nuts, like Tom Brady dropping a catch. We loved it. There was two commercials where people went nuts. Number one was the Tide commercials, which were absolutely amazing.
Those were pretty great.
It was fabulous.
Those were great.
And the other one was the Mission Impossible trailer. And I'm being dead serious here. In a packed bar, when Tom Cruise's voice not Tom Cruise's voice, when the voice came on saying, your mission, should you choose to accept it, everyone stopped and turned because they remember how good the last couple movies were and they wanted to see what was going on. This trailer shut down this bar on a packed Super Bowl night and everyone lost their minds by the end of it. That is why I'm picking Mission Impossible as the best trailer. Not including Tide.
Alrighty, so it's MI6 versus Cloverfield Paradox. Manning, whenever you like, the floor will be yours to start this debate.
Now, I love the Mission Impossible franchise, and I love Imagine Dragons Friction, which they played. Yeah, okay, yeah, there too. We shall not speak of, and they played Imagine Dragons Friction. I love that album, Smoke and Mirrors, Smoke Plus Mirrors.
Great album.
This literally felt like he's running. Oh no, Ethan Hunt is now running from. He's been disavowed again, or what? The CIA is now hunting him. It feels like more of the same that we've seen before, and you could basically call this Spectre. Let's just basically call it Spectre again, because Ethan Hunt is going to now find help from a previous villain from another film, what we had exactly with Spectre, to fight a new enemy that they're trying to overtake. We've seen that before. It's Big Bourne's now being hunted down by the people that tried to help him. Or now we're getting the same thing over and over again. I'm tired of the same old, the government is trying to take down, a team that we already grow to care about now, or a certain person. And we've done this before. And look, it's another stunt by Tom Cruise. The structure of this trailer is what we've seen before in Rogue Nation and Ghost Protocol. The big thing at the very end is him either on the plane or him up against the tower in Dubai. This is no different. Yes, we got Henry Cavill with the mustache.
Fly a helicopter.
Ooh.
Tom Cruise flew a goddamn helicopter by himself. Okay, no, this is one thing. The Cloverfield Paradox, I don't think anybody had any idea what it was. I forgot that Cloverfield was a movie when that trailer came on. I was like, 10 years ago, what happened in New York that we were so scared of? 9/11 was more than 10 years ago. That was the first thing that came to my head. Now, obviously, I was messed up for thinking that first, but that's not the point. I'm saying that when people were watching that, a lot of people didn't know what it was, and they were just like, all right, whatever, it's on Netflix, maybe I'll watch it, I'll see what the reviews are. When the Mission Impossible trailer came on, people were actually like intensely not caring, but they were intensely watching to kind of see what kind of stuff they would be doing next. One of the great things about the Mission Impossible last couple movies, I don't want to say franchise because that wouldn't be true then, is that when Tom Cruise is really working on a movie, he works on a movie. This is a brilliant action series, mostly, that has, in the last couple of years, really come up to bring up story and the action as well. Cloverfield, the movie was okay. I didn't see 10 Cloverfield Lane, but I heard John Goodman was great in it.
So good.
I'll watch it eventually. I'm not really interested in it. I think the first movie just put me off too much. And now they're just going to keep making them over and over again. And I don't think people really cared. I think the marketing idea for what they did with Cloverfield Lane was brilliant. Like dropping it the night of, amazing. I wish more people did that. Like just drop the thing and then have the movie or whatever come out right after. But with Mission Impossible, this is a franchise that people have grown to love. Kind of like, I don't want to say Fast and Furious. But it's gained that like notoriety of being a brilliant franchise that has great action, great characters, and everything just kept going up and up. And I think the one line in this trailer that made everyone's jaws just drop is how, I think Henry Cavill said it in whatever accent he's doing, but how long before a man like that, what is the actual wording? How long before a man like that has enough? And I think that's what people were like, oh, okay, so this might be where Tom Cruise goes full crazy, as we know him to possibly be. But this would be the part where we would be able to see his transformation and see that character arc go another step further. Go ahead. You're about to
you made a point prior. You made a point prior by saying the Cloverfield films are all the same. They are completely different films taking place in the same.
The second one. That's all I'm going to say. I just don't think people care enough about it.
See, this isn't about who cares the most. This is about still what the best is. And we have seen the Mission Impossible trailer before. While they had their crew there, they made a really cool trailer. We have seen that before. Go watch those other two trailers with Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, and you will find the same the same structure that has been done before. Well edited, but it's still something we have seen before. Cloverfield Paradox did something we've never seen before. Not just the fact they released it.
I think having a trailer
that they revealed something from prior.
The best trailer. I think the trailer for it was basically, oh, remember this movie that you might have seen 10 years ago, that you may have caught on cable one night later on, and that no one really cared about until, like, everyone was like, oh, what's the monster look like? And then the movie came out.
Cloverfield made money. It made a lot of money.
Cloverfield did make money because people were curious, but I don't think people really cared after the movie, like, had its run. 10 Cloverfield.
They cared enough to make a sequel.
Yeah, they cared enough to make a sequel, but it didn't really do that well either. I mean, it did okay, but it wasn't to the standard that they wanted it to do.
Well, no, yeah, it's not a big blockbuster. It's not supposed to make the same amount of money as Mission Impossible.
Granted, I don't think that people going, oh, Cloverfield Paradox, like trying to put it onto this name of a brand that no one really cares about. I don't think that's really going to make it an effective trailer. I think, yes, the shots were cool and the hand crawling by itself was kind of reminiscent of the Addams Family, but other than that, I didn't really care about anything. I mean, I like the cast of it, but that's not enough for me to go see the movie if I don't care about what it's already done. Whereas,
but it was a teaser. It wasn't supposed to.
It is a teaser, yes, but for a teaser to come out like 5 hours before the whole show comes out, I mean, I'm not gonna care enough to like be like, oh, I'm gonna set some time aside. Honestly, I'll probably watch the Cloverfield Paradox, but I'll probably watch it in the summer when I have nothing else to do, and you know, it's like boring outside. Like it's raining outside and I have nothing to do. That's when I'll go see it. Mission Impossible, this trailer made me want to go see it opening night. And that's what shows what a great trailer is you wanting to see it right away.
And I will disagree with that in my last point. I'll disagree with that by saying
that's what the job of a trailer is. That got really high. I apologize.
That is very high, yes. But the job of the trailer is, you said yourself, to get you excited. And I was already excited for Mission Impossible. But this coming out of left field, out of nowhere, and then hyping up an entire... If you looked at film Twitter and you looked at the people who were actually really curious about this, they were excited. And granted, people are probably not going to watch it that night. It was late. They might want to go to bed over, so they couldn't do much. They're with friends. Yeah, there you go. So, but this is for people to see and to not get attached to these characters, but to be interested just enough of how to get people interested, just peaked enough to where they can turn on Netflix, not pay anything if they already have a subscription, and just go ahead and watch it. Mission Impossible, yes, to get people excited for it's not years, months down the road. But again, this is the best trailer. And for what it did is something, as I mentioned, we have seen before with the characters, same beats, running away from the hero, the heroes running away from the other heroes. This one is something different, something thought-provoking just for a little bit, and I feel like it managed to do something most trailers of the Super Bowl were not able to do, and that is provide some thought-provoking trailer marketing, clever marketing aside.
All right, I'm going to use that as your final argument, Manny. Madeeh, go ahead and make yours.
All right, I'm going to touch on something Manning just said at the end there. You were talking about the film Twitter. So basically the guys who are following this stuff, like guys like us or the Collider guys, whoever, like those are the people who are into this kind of thing. I was in a packed bar with random people with all different backgrounds and all different interests. The Cloverfield trailer came on and none of them really cared. I feel like the guys who are sitting next to me or whoever they were on the table beside me, none of them really cared because they didn't even remember the first Cloverfield movie coming out. That trailer came on and they were like, oh yeah, that was a thing. And this is on Netflix now. Maybe I've just missed the trailers before. No one really gave a damn about it. The Mission Impossible trailer came on and people want to see that today. When Cloverfield says it's coming out tonight and people don't go see it that night, they were not excited enough about that trailer. When Mission Impossible comes out in 6 months down the line or whatever the date ends up being, they're like, oh, I want that movie now. That is a job of good trailer. And that proves, in my opinion, that a better trailer was the Mission Impossible one where people wanted it now, whereas the Cloverfield one, they were like, I'll get to it if I want to.
All right, that was a really good back and forth argument. This was much more closer to call, in my opinion. Ultimately, though, I think the closing argument was a big deal. Manny, you did do a good job of talking about, Mission Impossible. It was the exact same thing we've seen from other movies, and it kind of hurts it. The fact that you talked about it had shades of Spectrum and all that, but Madeeh really got a lot out there when it came to the fact that his movie had a much better cast, looked much more exciting. It had a lot more casual attraction from the fan base, and the fact that it came out later that night and it still really didn't have the buzz and the hype that Mission Impossible that we're still talking about today. So I'm going to give the point to Madeeh here with Mission Impossible. That's going to tie this game up at 1 apiece. So this now brings us to...
Did that Han Solo trailer creep out anybody else? I just couldn't, I couldn't get behind it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucked up that way.
Creep out?
Not creep out, but it was like, that's not Harrison Ford. I can tell. Like Lando, I was like, you know what? He actually looks pretty badass. But Alden Ehrenreich, I was like, man, what the hell are you trying to do?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. Solo didn't really do anything for me.
Side, Mission Impossible was also my first choice, so
Good
job. Good job.
I goddamn knew
it. Would have been my first choice too, so I think we're all in the same building on that one. So we now got a tie game. It is 1-1, and this is the one that's going to put the butts in the seats because MCU equals ratings, right, kids? So obviously, by the time this video comes out, within the next 24 to 48 hours of this video coming up, Black Panther will make its world premiere. Everyone will get a chance to see it, and everybody's loving it. So it's the be-all, end-all question. It's the question everybody's been asking since the cavemen. Guys, what's the best MCU movie ever? Lots of great movies to choose from. There's a very stacked group of movies to pick. Madeeh, we're going to start with you. What is the best MCU film?
Man, I'm really excited for Black Panther. But that's not what I'm going to argue. I picked Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, the reason I picked this one is because I've rewatched Manning's choice a bunch of times, and I rewatched my choice a bunch of times. And although Manning's choice is a lot more fun, quote unquote, I found it was more just a bunch of moments stuck together. Whereas The Winter Soldier, I felt like was probably the best thing that Marvel has put out ever. That's including Blade 2. That's including any of the movies that they put out beforehand as well. I think Winter Soldier is it is my favorite movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Having Robert Redford as an addition, having Sebastian Stan do a wonderful, absolutely wonderful job as the Winter Soldier, getting more into the details of Scarlet Johansson's Black Widow character, all of those things combined with the Russo brothers' wonderful direction, I think puts Winter Soldier handedly at the top of the list.
All right. So it's Captain America, Winter Soldier. Manning, what will you have to counter that?
What I have to counter that is a movie that Madeeh himself said I feel like redefined superhero films for the modern age, and that is Avengers, the one from Joss Whedon back in 2012. I remember seeing this movie 4 times in the theaters, 3 on the first weekend. 3 in the first weekend. Yeah, because I was so excited. The hype was palpable and it was real, and the movie delivered over $1.5 billion. And what this movie did is that this cemented what Marvel is today, and it also created an entirely entire zeitgeist at the moment that captured what it means to have fun in the theaters, and it provided a fantastic cast. The cast today that still is bar none one of the best. I mean, you probably till we get into Infinity War, and it's probably going to one up itself, because how can you not one up Infinity War? But right now, with the Avengers, Joss Whedon's very sharp, witty screenplay, interactions between characters like Tony Stark and Mark Ruffalo, Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, is stuff that we live for. Seeing Thor and Captain America in the same room and make it work. The Avengers is a hero film, and to me is the best thing Marvel has ever done, because it has defined a generation, and it is one we still talk about today as being one of the best. Granted, we talk about the other one as these are some of the top tier, no question about it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But Avengers, I will give just the edge to, because not only is it fantastic, it also has the cultural relevance and cultural significance it's seen prior. Probably like maybe X2 or Spider-Man 2.
All right, so it's good picks from both players. It's Winter Soldier versus the Avengers. Madeeh, take it away whenever you're ready.
I do enjoy the Avengers. I do, but honestly, I mean, I feel like I'll never have the feeling of the first time I watched it, where I was just kind of shaking because I saw so many of my favorite characters from the comic books on screen. But, and this isn't a knock on the movie, but I feel like, Manning, what you were saying is more how important it was for the MCU instead of how good it was. Yes, it's built on what we're seeing now. Like, we wouldn't have Infinity War. We wouldn't have the Justice League movie that just came out. We wouldn't have the X-Men movies that are coming out right now. Like, those wouldn't have worked if Avengers hadn't worked. Like, no one would have put them through. So yes, it was a more important movie in terms of what it did for the future and what we have now. But I don't think it was a better movie. I think a better movie was The Winter Soldier. And in terms of being, relevant, I think the political aspect of The Winter Soldier is still kind of relevant today. I think having a leader who is probably not doing things for the right reasons is something that a lot of us, especially the ones in the States, are not really are kind of witnessing. And I don't really know what the cultural relevance for Avengers is. I think, yeah, it's a bunch of people standing in a circle and fighting aliens. That's not really culturally relevant at all. I don't think
what you're saying. Culturally relevant is by what you're saying means is it's pop culture relevant from what it is today. Not by a sense of like. Okay, no, that's okay. I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
But now to counteract your social relevant as well too. Yes, what the themes that are tackled in Winter Soldier are fantastic themes and still resonate today when you're looking at it from the political spectrum.
I'm waiting for.
But what I will say also to counteract that, what we have here is something we've seen before. with the state overreaching their bounds. If you just look at something like Enemy of the State back in the 90s with Will Smith, where basically you have an overreaching government trying to do something not supposed to, and they translate it with Captain America. They just added Captain America into the mix to be able to take down a higher entity, Hydra. We've seen this done before. This goes back to Mission before with the trailer. We've seen this, and they just kind of coated with a new paint. Is it well done? Absolutely. No one is questioning that. The fight choreography is great, but so is Jason Bourne fight choreography. It's a copy-paste of what we've seen before. Avengers did something completely different, and it made it really well. Okay, tell me about a superhero team-up film that has happened before the Avengers, and it being really good. The only gripe I have is about Hawkeye's...
X-Men, 100%. It's a team-up film.
But there's something.
I mean, yes, didn't have them all standing around in a circle going, "Oh my God, let's go." But I think that's the one. I think
there was a build-up. There was no build-up for X-Men.
There wasn't any build-up, and I think it worked perfectly. I think I still love X-Men as a movie. I mean, yes, obviously the CGI is lacking, but that's not the point. I think X-Men even was a better movie than the Avengers was, because I think that Avengers. And now, hear me out. I know a lot of Marvel fanboys. I can hear them in the back of my head going, shut the fuck up, let me talk. Avengers, honestly, is just a bunch of moments put together. I love Joss Whedon, but honestly, that movie is just, it's these two people in a room, these two people in a room, the whole team in a circle about to fight aliens. This person saying this, Captain America saying Hulk, smash. Like, it's a bunch of moments kind of mashed together into a movie. I love the outcome of it, but honestly, it's just, there's parts of it that I'm just like, oh yeah, that happened. Like, in the Hawkeye, his entire character arc in it was ridiculous. I thought it was dumb. Loki was fun to watch, and I realized as I was watching it that there was like the entire last scene in New York, or the attack on New York scene. All of it, I could remember individual parts of it, but I couldn't remember the entire sequence. Whereas Winter Soldier, when I watched that movie, every single step of the way, something important happens that you need to have happen before it. Whether it's Sam Jackson coming in,
stuff like incredible exposition. No, like from Aram Zola, that entire scene, everything that needs to happen, and you guys are going to miraculously survive just at the right time.
It's a superhero movie. No one said it was realistic, but this movie was honestly probably the most realistic movie, or realistic superhero movie, probably since The Dark Knight. I think this movie really grounded itself really well, and then put itself in a place where, this could actually happen. My grandfather hates superhero movies. He saw Winter Soldier. He didn't know it was a superhero movie, but he was like, damn, that's a goddamn good movie. He did not enjoy the Avengers. He thought it was ridiculous. But Winter Soldier, he loved. And I think that's the part where it really stood out to me, was the fact that even Robert Redford helped, obviously. But the fact that Winter Soldier appealed to people of the older generation as well as the younger generation, I think is a testament to how good that movie is. Whereas the Avengers, it's almost not specifically for the younger people.
Okay, you've talked a lot so far. I
like talking.
Yes, but okay. Yes, you do. Apparently, you do. But however, what I will counter that for you for the Winter Soldier in particular, you mentioned how great Sebastian Stan is. He just stands there looking with eyes. Who's Bucky? There is nothing special about them other than the fact that Sebastian Stan's good at standing around. Yeah, that's about it. We really don't get that.
Sebastian Stan in that movie was one of the better villains that we've had in the MCU.
Sebastian Stan. But then you have the best villain in the Avengers, which is Loki. But going back out to the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is, as I mentioned before, the beats we have are beats that we've seen before in previous films with grander themes going on. Yeah, it's Captain America trying to find his place in the world. But we've seen that before also in the Avengers. It's retreading old ground with just adding the high. It's riding the high hydrosis. You look at the Avengers and him trying to fit into how society works now.
Punch this bag and be like, I don't really belong anywhere.
Oh, but no way! You look at how he interacted with people. You look at how he interacted with people like Mark Ruffalo and Tony Stark. He was going to be counteracting. He was confronting them, and you see in how they build up.
Better, like in terms of like.
I let you talk. Now let me talk with the Avengers, okay, particular. And this one, you said this is a bunch of scenes just randomly together. No, the scene was what the arc was. Nick Fury's like, I'm bringing these people together because what we've had in the previous films are coming back up now, and I want these people to come together. And the moment they come together, it's when stuff starts to fall apart. and they begin to take themselves up together, and through the strength of the writing of the characters and how they've already been established in how they interact, and through that establishment we've set up how they will interact with a third act. It's called setup and a payoff, and it's exactly what happens in the Avengers. It is not a scenes, it's a series of scenes to establish characters and how they work, and that is exactly what happened in the Avengers. And for the Winter Soldier, as I mentioned prior, it's a good film. It's a really good film, such as the Avengers is. But in that film, Marvel coat paint, and we have this idea of Donald Pierce's. We have these questions of like, so wait a minute, who are these 4 people up in the head? So Hydra's been hiding this entire time. I don't understand how that works. Or wait a minute, they come out of left field, out of nowhere. It doesn't make sense of like the story of how we've managed to. If you watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've shoehorned stuff like that in. They've tried to shoehorn the idea of Hydra. You know how much they tried to leech off of that idea
a long time ago, but don't even start.
Yeah, but anyway, and I will end with this last point of the Winter Soldier. It is a fantastic film. Both these are fantastic films. I can't bash it, but I can say it is inferior in the sense the rewatchability is there, which I continually go back to every year. I saw it with different people. I saw it with some friends I had who were younger. I saw it with friends who were older. I saw it with my family who had such a fantastic time in the theater, and some fantastic time as we watch it just on my stuff. That's not my TV. My TV's over there. My TV is over there. That's my roommate's. I don't watch it in that one. I watch it over there, and I just think to myself, roommate's TV. But I watch it to myself, and I think of like, this is why I go to the cinema. This is why I watch this, and this is cultural significance and rewatchability are what make a good film. And this, I believe, look at Citizen Kane. Look how this, and we still touted as one of the greats. Avengers, not Citizen Kane, neither is Citizen Kane, but it goes to tell you that this film will be watched years to come, and just see this is how you do a proper superhero finish to do that in flying colors by giving each character their time to shine.
And 53 years later, this debate is finally over. We had, I let you go on quite a while for there.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, because we never really had an official, closing argument, I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds apiece, and I'm going to let you say what your movie has that the other movie does not. So think about it close. Think about it carefully. Madeeh, I'll let you go first. What does your movie have that Avengers?
All right. I think what my movie has that Manning's doesn't is a lot of gravitas behind the performances. I think the performances are phenomenal. I think the direction is better than what Joss Whedon did. Also, I want to touch on something Manning said. He said that cultural significance plus rewatchability makes a great movie. The Room has cultural significance and is very rewatchable. It is a fucking awful movie. That does not equal a great movie. A great movie is something that you know right away is going to last in time.
It was a strong statement by the Madman. What's Manning going to say to counter that?
I'm going to take a drink.
Avengers has the ability to has the writing in order to bring these characters together, make it work in stages we never thought was possible. The Winter Soldier has particular characters, 1, 2, 3, but this one has a whole cast, and it gives them each a time to shine, and it does things that we've never seen before in the sense of just writing-wise, and rewatchability also, and cultural significance. Yeah, that's just one of the factors. Just so he has that comparison to doesn't have the cultural significance Winter Soldier has. I don't know why my arm did that.
Yeah, that one was tough. It definitely looked like you guys were struggling to try to find hit points on the other movie.
They're both so good. God damn it.
Yeah, they're great. I can't.
So it came down to me trying to find the hit points that both of you guys that you both tried to sound genuine in, which honestly was kind of hard because obviously, again, it was pretty hard to get hit points on both of them. I like the fact that Madeeh did bring up the fact that it did redefine the comic book genre, and in effect was more important, but It wasn't the question. It was what was the better film. Madeeh unfortunately did hit some points about how the Hawkeye relationship thing was a complete waste of time, wasted potential, and he brought up the fact about the political relevance of his movie. It's a really big deal. I think where the determining factor to me was the fact that Manning did bring up the fact that the writing of his was a little bit better, and he did bring up the fact that there was a better villain in his. Better villain. He didn't bring up that it had a better score though. I was a little disappointed. If you brought up the score, I think that might have been a complete dagger. But yeah, I mean, and he also brought up the fact that Winter Soldier, again, like his previous argument, had kind of been done before in other movies. So while I don't necessarily agree with all those facts,
You don't agree, don't go with it. You know where to go.
Quite enough to the fact that I'm going to have to give the point to Manning on that one.
Son of a bitch.
The narrowest of margins. That one was really tough,
Oh,
though.
jeez.
That one was really close.
Motherfucker.
I mean, hey, you guys.
I thought you had the finishing blow with that last argument, like the room,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
what the hell, man? I thought I killed it on that son of a bitch. Fucking out.
yeah, factor. It's not the entirety. Because
it was really close. You almost
not
had it, but there was a lot of stuff that that Manning brought up to kind of slam your movie down. You did come up with the Hawkeye one, but that was to me that was really the only big blow that you had. Whereas Manning had a bunch more smaller blows that I don't think you were able to defend quite as bad. So I am gonna have to, I am gonna have to give the point to Manning on that one.
I'm launching a formal
but again, there's no wrong answer when it comes to that kind of question.
No, these are my one. Just one. Winter Soldier 2. So it was hard.
Okay, so it's now 2-1 in Manning's favor. Madeeh has an opportunity to tie this game up going into the speed round. Question number 4. This is going to be interesting to me because I'm not much of a rater, so you have a chance to convince me as to why your movie is the best adaptation of a young adult novel. So this ought to be interesting. Manning, it's up to you. What was your pick for this topic?
My pick was Nine. It chronicles a story of a young kid going in that are happening in schools these days. And I won't spoil too much of it. I know people really need in high school that I have not seen a young adult novel that has been marketed to young adults in a way that is an experience so well, and with fantastic performances and excellent direction. This is a movie that takes away that icky label of young adult movie and transforms it into something that is pure entertainment. And
all right, so Manning's made his case. Madeeh, what are you going to have to counter that argument?
All right, so I picked Hunger Games sequel, Catching Fire. Now, when the question was asked about best adaptation of a young adult, or whatever the hell term is, novel, this was one of the first ones that came to my mind, simply because of all 3 of the books, Catching Fire was probably my least favorite, but of the movies, they adapted it so well that it became my favorite of the 4 movies that they did. All around, I think Francis Lawrence did a wonderful job with this movie, and the cast that they put around Jennifer Lawrence did an absolutely phenomenal job as well, with the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman as well, giving one of his last performances in this movie. This movie, it might not have done the whole marketing to young adults or marketing to this or whatever that Perks of Being a Wallflower did, but it made a very enjoyable movie that of the 4 is the only one I still watch to this day.
Okay. Good choices by both.
That's not right.
So this is going to be interesting because obviously, as I stated, I'm not as familiar with these movies as much probably everybody else. So it's really going to come down to the arguments on this one. You're really going to have to convince me why yours is the better adaptation. So probably best that I don't have a horse in this fight. So Manny, take it away whenever you're ready.
Performances that were sadly overlooked. Oscar season. Scour the ways of young adulthood and truly growing up. The themes in that are really poignant and powerful that you inner deep how society thinks about you, and doing it in a way that is accessible to young adult novels, to young adults and as well as adults. It's a comedy story I feel like is relevant today. Purely entertainment flick. And, you know, you can watch it and be like, oh, you know, Jennifer Lawrence, she's pretty great. Josh Hutcherson, pretty solid as well, too. It's something you go to and typical films of like Maze Runner and Twilight and all those.
I think that's an awful shot that you have no back. Maze Runner and Twilight were some of the worst pieces of shit I've seen in the last little bit. I love Perks of Being a Wallflower.
They
I thought
fit
it was a great
in the
movie.
genre.
Okay. All right. If we're
dystopian
putting them in the same genre,
dystopian.
Let's be honest. If any of them, Catching Fire did 100% the best. 100% the best. I think Catching Fire, the one bad thing about it is that it started the rest of those coming out. Well, I guess Twilight came out first. But what these, I think you're not giving it enough credit. I think, honestly, even though it is one of those blockbuster movies, I don't think that takes away from what kind of, like, how good it was. I think this movie was super enjoyable. This movie, not only was Josh Hutcherson and Jennifer Lawrence great, but the supporting cast around them as well. Elizabeth Banks has never been better. In anything I've ever seen her in, I don't think she's ever been better than being like the weird, whatever the hell, Effie Trinket character. And I think that she was probably perfectly cast for it.
It's not saying much, though.
It's not saying much.
Exactly it.
Woody Harrelson was also phenomenal as, I guess, probably just himself with more hair. Constantly on something and like trying to teach people how to do stuff. But like, I think what this movie did and another thing that people don't think about in this movie is how good Donald Sutherland was as a villain as well. He was pretty goddamn menacing as someone that I usually look at as like, oh yeah, that's like a grandpa dude. No, he was pretty goddamn menacing. And for him to be able to bring the status of this movie up so much just on his performance alone, I thought was incredible. Perks of Being a Wallflower, yes, is more quote-unquote relatable to the youth today because obviously no one is being sent to some random arena to fight for their survival. Until Trump says that's what we have to do.
Political joke, hey!
I have them all night. But like, up until that happens, I don't think people are going to necessarily relate to the Hunger Games. But I think the idea of the Hunger Games of, you know, this is something that we know is wrong and we need to rebel against. The idea of rebelling is what really gets me into this movie. The idea that even though the political system is the way it is, we don't have to take it. We can be better. We can make a better world for ourselves. We just have to stand up and take it. And I think what this movie did for that movement, especially in recent years, we've kind of seen it. Not saying that it's the Hunger Games that caused like the Me Too revolution and all these other things that have been going on that are so good for their community. But I think that it shows people that revolution in a good way is a way that we can move forward. And I think it also shows another thing that does really well is show kind of, it hints at it, but kind of hints at like the PTSD levels that Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson get just from having to survive what they did. And coming back and being quoted as heroes where they just see themselves as quote unquote survivors. And I think that also resonates with a lot of war veterans today too. I took my uncle to go see it who fought in, oh God, which country was it? Either Afghanistan or Iraq, I can never tell. But he came back and he said, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like people see you as a hero and you're just sitting there like, I'm a piece of shit because I killed people. Like when you are able to get so many different levels in one movie, I think that's pretty astounding. Whereas in Perks of Being a Wallflower, it mainly just talked about, well, sex was one of the main things, and then a lot of indie music. Not to like put it short, but that's basically the two main topics.
Indie music is a background to it. It helps. It helps facilitate. If you're talking about hero, It's not the focus of the story, but I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
A lot of it is just focused on like kind of sex at a teenage level, which I thought, it's kind of. It really is. If you watch that movie, it's a lot of talking about sex and like what you can do in relationships.
There is a lot of sex, but it is not. But it's not about sex.
No, it's not 50 Shades of whatever the fuck. But this.
Thank God it's not.
Oh boy, we're not going to get into that argument today. I don't.
Anyway,
think an argument.
Go ahead.
But I don't think that it hit as many levels that people can resonate to. I think that Perks of Being a Wallflower touched on one specific group of people, whereas Catching Fire was able to resonate with a vast majority of people. Like where you're able to talk to people who are going through, who are in a poor environment and trying to come up, or they're in a system where their politics are not going very well and they need to see a way through, or if they're coming home from war and they got to see somewhere that, other people are going through this as well. I think it did a lot of different things, and I think it was a better adaptation of the book because the book was not great and it just made it better. Whereas Perks of Being a Wallflower is pretty solid, close to the book. I don't know if you guys read the book, but it's almost straight up just a copy of the script.
It's because now what I will say to that is because Stephen Chbosky, I can't pronounce his name, both wrote.
You're close enough.
He wrote the book and he directed it. He did both,
which is incredible.
He wrote the book in 2003 when it came out. 2013 when it came out. Now, and I will say your point also about how it resonates with a certain amount of people. This isn't just one particular story. You have 3 different characters in Ezra Miller. You have another different character in Emma Watson, another different character in Logan Lerman. You have also Paul Rudd going against type in a really poignant role. You mentioned Donald Sutherland, how he went against type. It's like a grandpa. He's a grandpa figure, and he always an evil in this one. This one, Paul Rudd is a teacher with a lot of heart and a lot of soul, instead of like being this guy along maybe like
Paul Rudd enough
Judd Apatow.
He always has some. Yeah, in Judd Apatow films, he's got obviously.
No, absolutely. No, I'm saying, but this is like surprising in the sense.
I guess at the time, yeah. At the time, it was kind of surprising. But I think
at the time it was surprising. But I will also end with this. Also, another point. It resonates because it does something different in this modern age by taking a young adult novel and doing something completely different with it by making it realistic. This one, in the Catching Fire, we had Divergent, we had Maze Runner, we had all these films about these young people fighting against a higher system. Fight
the power.
They're fighting the power. It's just something about. I feel like this is the argument used before. We've seen it before. It's nothing. It's just been so contrived. But it's so contrived. There's no way.
But it still ended up being a good movie. It doesn't take away from anything. We could see things before and have people adapt their own versions of it. That doesn't make it lesser. If anything, it just makes it that they're taking their own shot at it.
But there's nothing special about it.
Oh, I beg to differ. I think even though you're putting your own spin on it makes it special on its own. I don't think that we could see 10 different versions. How many times have we seen the plot of Star Wars? After Star Wars came out, it's come out a bunch of times, but we still love those movies. I don't think that.
Yeah, but also Catching Fire in itself, it's a mid-chapter film. It's basically you get the weirdest ending. Yeah, you get the weirdest ending because it's not something you just watch. It is you see the Hunger Games, and that is in itself a contained film. Everything else beyond that is something you have to watch the next one. Next thing, Peeta just disappears. You have no idea what's going to happen next. Spoiler alert, guys. This is a movie that's people have seen before.
It's 5 years old.
So I apologize for that.
That happens in the book as well. If you're adapting the book, where it's like, oh, come back.
I know it doesn't stand on its own.
It's gonna happen.
It does not stand on its own.
It does not stand on its own. But that's not what the question is. The question is, what's the best adaptation? And I can't think of a reason that the middle book also had middle movie feels to it. That is not a knock on the movie.
But that's the adaptation in the sense. Like it is because then you can't just watch the beginning and
it wasn't the end. It doesn't stand on its own. It's still.
What's the best one I should watch?
What?
Just watch Catching Fire. It's like someone's asking, like, what should I watch? What's the best young adult adaptation?
Be a film fan.
Catching Fire. Should I watch the best? So watch all of them. Someone has so many hours.
You know what the backstory is. You don't watch Blade Runner 2049, even though it's better than the original, and say, "Oh, look, I just watched the sequel. I didn't know what happened at the beginning." You watch movies in progression, man. You don't watch just Empire Strikes Back. You watch New Hope, then Empire Strikes Back. That's how it goes.
kind of depends on who. Yeah, but then
Or
you're
don't
telling
even
someone to
start.
watch the entire thing.
You don't have to watch the entire thing. If you watch Hunger Games and then watch Catching Fire, I'm sure people will be happy. Then they'll be curious. That's the other thing. It got people curious about the next one. Same thing with the book. The book got people curious about the next one. I had to wait for a couple of years for that book to come out. I remember being obsessed about these goddamn books. The wait between Catching Fire and Mockingjay was awful because I was like, I didn't even like the last book, but I want to know what happens. The movies, however, I was like, I know what happens, but I want to see how they adapt it. It got me excited for the sequel. So it being a better adaptation, or it was a better adaptation than Perks of Being a Wallflower, simply because it did better than what the book was.
All right, Madeeh, I'm going to use that as your final argument because we've gone on way too
Fair
long
enough.
with that one. Manny, I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. State your piece. Try to get anything else out there.
Okay. You mentioned how it's a better adaptation when it's a movie that's fine to begin with. If you look at the quality of Perks of Being a Wallflower and The Hunger Games, the novel of The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, is right here. The movie is right here. Perks of Being a Wallflower novel, right around here. Perks of Being a Wallflower movie, right around here. It peaks itself up just a little bit there because the director wrote it, did everything. He made sure it was his baby, and there is nothing more perfect of an adaptation than having the director himself see through every single stage, knowing exactly how to translate, getting a movie that is well reviewed by audience at 86 on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So it's 83. It's in the 80s. It's highly rated among people and critics.
All right, that was a good back and forth debate. Again, because I have not been very familiar with any of those movies, I really wanted to listen to the points that were brought up. Madeeh really did a great job pointing out all of the cast that was brought up. Woody Harrelson, Donald Sutherland, great supporting cast, about the fact that it was a great lead up from the first movie and then going into the second one. Manning got a lot out there too about, the director, was the same person who did the book, very relatable in facts. But
I gotta point out real quick, Rotten Tomatoes, man, are you serious?
Fact. It's just fact.
Yeah.
Check what it's not the audience score.
Check what
it's not
Catching
the
Fire
audience
score is. Check what Catching Fire score is.
I guess we'll have to do that then. Yeah, the fact that Madeeh brought up the fact that it had a great cast. Manny really didn't take any shot against the cast or anything about that. I mean, he just kind of talked about, again, the plot, which, he's done that 2 times before. You can only get it away with it so many times, Manning, before I think you got to try to take another route there.
Yeah, we've seen it before, Manning.
The cast.
We have, I know, but
Manning had been able to, to take some shots about the cast to kind of knock it down. I think it might have helped his argument a little bit, but ultimately, I got to give this to Madeeh, which is going to tie this up to a piece. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. It's tied it to a piece, 2 evenly matched players. I expect nothing less. So now we're going to get into the speed round.
I lost that one. When you sent Perks of Being a Wallflower on the group chat, I was like, "Fuck, that's a good one."
Hold on, I need to look at this. Hold on, I need to double check something.
Are you checking the Rotten Tomato scores?
Yep.
I'm telling you, man. 89 for Catching Fire, 86 for Perks of Being a Wallflower.
They are both 7.5s. They're literally both 7.5s in averages. So take that with
I love both
what you will. But yeah, I'm surprised, and you did a great job defending. I did not think of the nuances there. So bravo, bravo.
Can you tell how far up my ass had to go to get those ones out?
You deep.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the speed round questions. I'm sure you guys know how this is going to work. The first 2 speed round questions are going to be 30 seconds apiece to give your first opening arguments and then 15-second rebuttals. If the score is tied 3 apiece when we go into the final one, you're going to have 3 different stints of debating. First stint will be 30 seconds, the second will be 20 seconds, and the final will be 10 seconds. And again, the first to 4 will win. We're tied up. Best of luck to both of you. So, as we pointed out, when this comes up on the page, it's going to be Valentine's Day. So, in honor of Valentine's Day, I want to ask you guys, who is the most lovable movie character ever?
Oh.
Chewbacca.
What was that?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay. Most lovable movie character, you said.
That's correct.
Okay. Let's go. Go with oh geez, what's his name? What's his name? Oh no, I can't remember his name.
Gotta give you a 10 count.
Morph from Treasure Planet.
Morph.
What the fuck?
Morph. Yep.
Okay.
I was kind of expecting like a Wall-E or something like that.
Oh fuck, Wally.
He's too mad. He's too. Oh hey, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's not the argument. That's not
an argument. You're right. Not the argument. He's too metallic. You can't hug him.
Oh well. So it's a Chewie versus Morph. This ought to be interesting. Madeeh, you made the first case, or you said you're one first. So go ahead. You got 30 seconds. Whenever you start.
First of all, man, Morph. Listen, Manning, I love you and respect you as a human being and as a competitor, but you have never been such an ignorant slut in your life. Are you kidding me? Morph? Oh my god. Chewbacca is the definition of a lovable character. He's big, he's cuddly, he's got your back in a fight. And I'll give this example. Princess Leia, at the beginning of the movie, or middle of the movie, she said, can someone get this big carpet out of the way? At the end of the movie, she loves him. Everybody loves Chewbacca. I don't think I've ever met a single person in human history who said, oh, fuck Chewbacca. Chewbacca is the definition of cuddly and lovable.
All right, Manny.
Morph is an unconventional pick. Absolutely, but if you look at the movie in itself, he's a lovable little morph that morphs into whatever you want to do. He's a super little cute little guy that can kind of go in the palm of your hand. Chewbacca, in of itself, when's the last time that guy probably showered? You know, he's a walking carpet that probably smells terrible, and he can rip your arms off just like that if he wants to. What's lovable is something that can kill you and smell bad at the same time. Morph is a cute little thing of just of ball of morphing, be around you, and wherever you go, he's your little companion, your little parrot if you want to. He's someone that can love you to the end of time. He loves someone like John Silver, loves someone like Jack Hawkins in the movie. He loves everybody, and everyone loves him.
All right, 15-second rebuttals. Rabi, take it away.
I can tell you right now, I do not love him. That piece of shit is annoying as fuck. Chewbacca, you said yes, he can kill you. So can my dog. My dog can kill me. My dog hasn't showered in a while, even though I've tried my best. But that's not the point. I still love my dog. Chewbacca is basically a giant 8-foot dog, and what person does not love that kind of love? Dogs are best.
All right, Madeeh. Or Manny. Excuse me.
I'll go again.
All right.
Yeah,
okay, that was good. May I go?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't love 8-foot dogs that can kind of kill you like that. That's kind of terrifying in of itself. You know how terrifying Wookiees can be up close. You're looking up there like, oh, hi, how can that something be lovable that can kind of kill you just like that has the power to do it? Morph does not have the power to kill you. Constant companion. No, he is not annoying. He is absolutely adorable. You know what? Some guy doesn't like Wally over here. So there's that.
Oh, boy.
That's not the argument.
This was not what I was expecting when I came up with that question.
You wouldn't know Q would have hit you in the face. Wally's adorable, and so is Morph.
My girlfriend would disagree. No, I'm not going to get into that.
Well,
that was interesting. But
I don't know her,
where you were going at first when it came to Chewie. You know, he'll protect you and be very loyal to you. But Manning, there's something about this thing that he said about the stench and the fact that he can kill you. That's
Morph reminds me of a piece of shit.
It's kind of hard for me to ignore that the most lovable character could be somebody that can kill you if you don't. Jeez. I mean,
rip the ears off of Gundark.
I mean, some of the cases that Madeeh was trying to make, I think, felt a little more personal than what was actually factual. Whereas I think Manning actually gave factual reasons why he might not be the most lovable character. So I'm actually going to give that to Manning, even though I have no effing clue who Morph is.
Watch that movie. You're gonna 100% regret that.
If I lose,
you're gonna regret that decision when you watch the goddamn movie. I swear to God. What
It's
the
not
hell?
a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
No, it's not a bad movie.
I wanted to go.
Oh boy.
I wanted to go with an unconventional, out of the box choice, and I got it.
You
I was trying to
100%
think of
went out of the box. You picked the dude who looked like Jello. What the actual fuck? How does what?
Jello is adorable.
Okay, Jello is adorable when I'm eating it. Madeeh, how the hell? You're a Star Wars
Come on.
fanboy. How do you go against Chewie? What the hell is wrong with you, man?
I love Chewie. Well, I have to win. I told you, I'm not giving this to you easy. I'm not giving it to you easy.
Well, speak of the devil, kind of like I brought up at the beginning, Manny, you now have a 3-2 lead. You now got a couple chances to put Madeeh away. I hope the butterflies aren't sinking in, because it's game point for Manny. If he can take this, he's going to win the match. We're going to stick with the Valentine's Day theme, and I want to ask you guys, what is the best movie with the word love in the title?
Love Actually.
Okay. Thanks, Madeeh.
You're welcome. Fucking morph. I'm gonna be pissed off about that all week. You know that?
I'm sorry.
Oh, there are more movies with love, right, in the title?
He wouldn't ask this
This is
question if there wasn't.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I literally can't think of anything. Okay, you know what? Okay, you know what? Love and Friendship. The movie novel written by Jane Austen.
Hang on, I gotta Google this.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
All right. Love and Friendship versus Love Actually. I've heard of one of these movies. The other one, not so much. Manning. Madeeh, take it away. 30 seconds whenever you're ready.
Hang on, can I get clarification of which Love and Friendship movie you're talking about?
The one that recently came out with Kate Beckinsale.
That one? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my good lord. Oh my god. Okay. All right, that doesn't count in my argument. I just want to point that out. I'm just, holy shit. Okay.
Take it away.
Love and Friendship was an absolutely god-awful movie. Love Actually was one of the only Christmas movies I've ever actually enjoyed. I'm not a Christian. I don't celebrate Christmas, but Love Actually and Elf were the two movies that I watch that are Christmas-related. Love Actually honestly broke my heart and made me laugh at the same time. Alan Rickman's character and his relationship with Emma Thompson was absolutely beautiful. Liam Neeson's relationship with his son, Keira Knightley with Chiwetel Ejiofor, and the dude from Walking Dead. All of these relationships coming onto each other. And then, oh, it's such a beautiful movie, and it's so heartbreaking.
Right, Manny. Try to convince me why this is the best movie with love in the title. Good luck.
Love and Friendship is an excellent adaptation of a Jane Austen novel that doesn't get a lot enough love. It is a fantastic tale of this woman who's socialite trying to work her way up into the upper echelons of the time period. And what Kate Beckinsale does in this role is transform and proves the fact, yes, she can act, and she can act incredibly well by making something very joyous and very fun and lighthearted. This is beyond a doubt the most lighthearted and fun film by Jane Austen, as we've seen with Jane Austen novel ever. Love Actually is an overstuffed mess. It has way too much going on and tries to pull on your heartstrings at the cry right here, cry right now. It's definitely not move one. It's overstuffed and way too sugary.
Whenever you're ready for your rebuttal.
I don't think having a movie that tries to pull on your heartstrings is necessarily a bad thing. I think a movie that's actually trying to show caring and respect for the content is brilliant. Alan, like I said, the cast in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's on another level. This is an A+ cast, all from British actors that are showing you what it really means to be in love.
Time. Annie?
One. This is getting me. Wow. Okay. Okay. Actually, in and of itself, I love donuts. I love ice cream. I can only have so much sugar before it starts to overflow me. And what that does is that's way too much sugar in and of itself. Give me a little bit less of that because it tries to do too much in short amount of time. In comparison to Love and Friendship, it knows exactly what it is, and it tries to exemplify that with some fantastic performances and some really witty dialogue and some interesting and fantastic direction.
All right. That was an interesting argument. Well, actually, Love and Friendship. I like the fact that Madeeh definitely brought up the fact that he had a more solid cast. Manny, you tried to bring up the fact that witty dialogue and all that, but to me, I think Madeeh got this from the start. I think he just ultimately just picked the best one he could pick. Although technically, you could have picked like a Doctor Strangelove or a From Russia with Love or anything.
Are
like,
you
like
kidding
that.
me? Oh no! I picked Love Actually over Doctor Strangelove. What? No! Oh my god!
And I think
That is one of my favorite films of all time. I can't believe I forgot Doctor Strangelove.
My god!
You know how you felt like with Morph? This is my now point where I just totally forgot Doctor Strangelove. Forget Love and Friendship. That movie is terrible.
It's fucking awful.
I hate it. I couldn't think of anything else. It is one of the worst.
It is god awful. The one good
Friendship
thing
has
about it
no
was Kate Beckinsale.
Yes, agreed.
Beautiful.
I couldn't think of Doctor Strangelove. It was so
I hate
good.
to say that the butterflies.
I'm so sorry, Peter Sellers.
I think that they, yeah, I think that
It was just it wasn't even butterflies. It was just like my brain just blanked. Final round. Let's do this. We're back to where we are.
All right. So, from unforeseen circumstances, we now have a tie game, and it's now going to come down to the final speed round question. So again, in this one, there's going to be 3 debate periods: 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds. So whenever you hear the question, come up with what you think is the correct answer.
Wow.
The question is, with the Venom trailer dropping, what Marvel villain should get their own standalone movie next?
Magneto.
Magneto will accept.
Doctor Doom.
So, Magneto versus Doctor Doom. This is for all the marbles. This is to advance to the second round. Best of luck to both of you. Madeeh, whenever you're ready.
Real quick, it's 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and then 10?
Yes, correct.
Okay. The reason I chose Magneto is I don't necessarily even think he's a full-on villain. I think he's more of an anti-hero in a separate universe kind of thing. When Stan Lee wrote these characters, he compared Professor X to Martin Luther King and Magneto to Malcolm X. I think if you kind of draw on that and almost have like a Malcolm X kind of feel to Magneto, and whether you have the two wonderful actors who played him, if you have Michael Fassbender taking that role and really showing what he's made of, he's a brilliant actor, and I think he could really do well in this kind of civil rights role if you put him in it.
Time. Manny, whenever you're ready.
We have not had a good Doctor Doom yet at all. I would love to see Doctor Doom be able to make his appearance into the big screen and be able to tell a rich story of a true villain, someone we actually loathe to hate. They tried to do it with Maleficent, didn't work. I want them to be able to do something where they have a villain and show his progression into what we know him today as the pure-on evil ruler of Latveria. Someone who is just a genius, but craves power, but loves his country just enough to be able to work. Think of someone being able to really dig into this role of Dr. Doom would be fantastic to see.
All right, now we go to 20-second rebuttal. Whenever you're ready, Madeeh.
I think you kind of shot yourself in the foot, man. We haven't seen a good Doctor Doom, and we've had 2 incarnations of him. Whereas with Magneto, we've had 2 brilliant performances of Magneto, or 2 brilliant performers portray Magneto and done very well with it. I think having Doctor Doom, I don't really see anyone who could actually side on his side. Whereas with Magneto, you still have people to this day who are saying, you know what, I kind of side on his side, where sometimes violence is the answer.
Yeah. Whenever you're ready, Annie.
See, we've had 2 brilliant performances of Magneto so far. Why would we want to see a third time? Because we have him. We have First Class. Origin story of Magneto we have basically right there, First Class. And you may have however the treatment of the character. But we basically have seen his origin story done before, and very well. Why would we just see that again? First time seeing it, and if done well and done properly, can be a very impactful and powerful introduction to a very established, well-beloved character.
All right. It's really close right now. These last 10 seconds are going to be very vital to what's going to be the determining victor. So, Madeeh, these 10 seconds are really important. Make them count.
I never said I wanted to see a Magneto origin story. I want to see Magneto, the mutant rights leader story. I want to see his side of what he believes to be the right way for mutant kind to move forward. A Doctor Doom movie, I don't really see what I would be cheering for. Doctor Doom is just an evil character.
Time.
Fuck. Man, 10 seconds passes quick.
It does. Dr. Doom is more than just an evil character. If you see what he strives to do, if you see the recent arc of a Secret War, to try to make this world a utopia. He cares about it. He's a megalomaniac, but he does it for the betterment because he thinks he can make everything better. And seeing the psyche of that character is something I'm really interested to see for the first time.
Oh, God.
Can we go another 10 seconds? Just for shits, let's do it.
I'd like to. Really would.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know what?
Let's
What the
get
hell?
5.
Another 10 seconds.
Jeez.
Whenever you're ready, Madeeh, because this is really close.
Props on bringing up Secret War, but I don't think having a megalomaniac movie with an evil leader is going to be something I want to see. If I want to see that, I just watch U.S. politics. I don't think I want to watch a Doctor Doom movie because there's nothing about it that interests me. I don't want to follow that character arc. I want to see Magneto.
See, the character Magneto has been done to death. I don't want to see him again. We're going to get another movie also with Dark Phoenix with more Magneto. We've seen Magneto. Don't see that anymore. Dr. Doom, fresh new take, something completely different with Vincent Cassel leading into this role, who's a very charming actor. Let's see it. Get it done, Marvel.
Yo, no matter which way this goes, holy shit, this is my favorite matchup. God damn. All right. Other than the morph moment,
that didn't help a whole lot.
I am really happy with this match, man.
Oh, Lord.
It's up to you.
Whatever Both of you guys really brought up some really good points.
Real quick, I have money and Manning doesn't. I can e-transfer you right now.
Well, unfortunately, I'm on Matt Beer's account. So
how do you not know I have money?
You're a student. I can bet money that you don't have money.
You both had really good points.
It's safe.
Really hit the other one really well. You both talked about how they've both been done to death. Madeeh brought up the fact it's not been done very well. Dr. Doom has. Manning brought up the fact that we've had 10 bazillion shitillion versions of Magneto already. I think what it ultimately came down to for me was the fact that when it was talked about the potential fresh taste about what a new take on a character could possibly be, really put this in my favor, which is why by the slimmest of margins, I'm gonna have to give the point to Manning Franks.
Motherfucker!
That was
Jesus, man.
Good God.
Oh fuck! All right.
Wow, that was
holy shit.
Yeah, I'm ready for bed now.
Yeah.
Oh wow, forget more homework. Dude, that was a championship match right there. That's how good it was. That's how good that was.
Boy, if you guys don't do this, like if you're not of that caliber for the rest of the games, man, I swear to God, I'll come over to where you are and whoop your ass.
We will come back and do a championship if nothing else is that good.
Oh, straight up, man. Jesus.
So by the
Jeremy,
score
thank
of
you.
4-3, it was an 8
Wow.
versus 9 matchup, and it lived up to everything that we expected it to. With the technical upset, although I don't think it's an upset whatsoever. Both guys.
Hey, man, but props to Manny. That was not an upset at all. That was some straight up gangster shit right there.
So let's hear from what the winner has to say if he can still even catch a breath. Manning, you now improve to 2-1, and it doesn't get any easier. You potentially play the winner of Jeremy the Atom Adams, or as I call him, the smart Jeremy, and Aaron Canole. So what goes through your mind knowing the possibility that you may end up having to play one of those two?
Right now, I'm just kind of like, I'm just reeling from the assault and the barrage that I just had back and forth with Madeeh, because Jin, that was a fantastic match for what the two of us had. This was on like a whole other level of what these battlegrounds can be. That's how good it was. And if I can have opponents that is equal to what I had now, it's going to be hard to top this one. So good luck to you guys, whoever it is. I'm looking forward to it because I'm tired now and mentally exhausted. Oh, jeez.
I feel the exact same way, and I didn't even have to debate anything. So
yeah, you've just been sitting there watching. You're tired as fuck. What the hell?
Yeah.
Come on, it's after midnight where I am. Cut me some slack now.
That's true.
Man.
That's true.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, with a winner, there has to be an unfortunate loser, and today it happened to be the Madman, which is probably the sad man now. Madeeh, you gave a hell of an effort. You almost came back there. You had a hell of an argument there at that last question. That really could have gone either way. Just, it's hard to. That was narrowest of margins, but you played really great. Manning played really great. What do you take out of this performance, even though by the narrowest of margins in defeat?
First of all, fuck Treasure Planet. Second of all, like, okay, I know I'm mad about that. Like, I'm legitimately mad about that. What the fuck? All right, no, moving on. Man, holy, I honestly don't have words. This is probably my favorite match, not only that I've seen, like, not only that I've been a part of, but I've seen as well. Like, Manny, what the hell, man? That shit came out of nowhere. Like, honestly, of all the matches I've done, the first loss I had was the team match, and that was still pretty close. This one, was even closer, and it was more fun to do. All props to the guys who competed in that one. But this is probably one of the better matches on any level that I've seen. Like, I haven't seen movie fights this fun in a long time. This is just a hell of a thing, man. Like, I'm mad, obviously, about a certain character not being as lovable, apparently. But
he shall not be named.
I am not naming that son of a bitch. That, but like this is honestly the most fun I've had in a long time on one of these things, man. Like, it was intense, but like, you know, god damn, my brain isn't working right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm usually much better than this, but holy, I feel like I just got Kevin Spacey. Even though it was more of a mutual thing.
Well, so with 3 fried brains presenting this movie Battleground, I think, needless to say, I think this match completely lived up the hype. I couldn't be more than happy. I've had the first opportunity to host a movie Battleground with 2 great players and a great outcome.
Shit, this was your first one too. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Wow, good on you, man. Oh, honestly, good job for this being your first one. You have to deal with my bullshit. Oh my god.
So, with that being said, that's going to conclude this epic first round match of Movie Battleground. Holy cannoli. Really don't know what to say after that. Manning Franks, where can the good people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter at Cinna_man. That's CINENN. And you can find me also sometime at Take 3 Reactions that we have over at Take 3 Productions. Other than that, you'll find me currently doing. It's late over here, and we went longer than anticipated, but that's okay because this was really great, guys. Woo!
Oh, the waiting is the hardest part.
You know, sometimes you sing too beautifully, my man.
Well, at least one of us thinks that. Madeeh, where can the good people find you in places where I'm not singing epically bad?
The good people good people have trouble finding me. The bad people, you guys will find me everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all that at Madeeh R. Facebook, just add me. I'll probably respond. And then on YouTube, every now and then, when these guys actually have time to deal with my bullshit and put me on the show. I think I have a couple more appearances coming up here and there. I don't know when they are or when they're due to come out. And also at whatever restaurant I can book 3 days before Valentine's Day. Eesh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. And me personally, you can find me on Twitter at WWJTH1, and you can find me on YouTube, JTH, exact same name. Nothing's changed. Always make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share all these on the Worldwide Movie Games Network, Movie Battleground. It's a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. And on behalf of everybody, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hope it's been great for you. And until next time, see you next time.